The Villains and Firstrade, both coming off of losses in last week's season opener, look to right their ships on a balmy Sunday afternoon in the heart of winter here in New York City. Now, to say this game got off to a slow start would be making the understatement of this young year. In fact, neither side hardly filled the buckets with much of anything in the first 9 minutes, and this free throw here by Sean Zhang serves as one of the highlights in that opening period. We're not kidding, folks. The score stood 6-5 after the opening stanza, but luckily the game would pick up in the second quarter all the way to the end, where this game, believe it or not, wound up going into overtime. In the second quarter, David Yoon and Kenneth Chan, the main men of the Villains, stepped it up, with Yoon dropping 5 points, including one from way downtown. On Firstrade's side, C.S. Shah established himself in the post by starting to pick up rebounds after rebounds, along with his counterpart, Baby Yao Zhang, down low. In fact, the team, Firstrade, would out-rebound the Villains 48-32 on the afternoon. Gary Chen came to play as a swingman for Firstrade, finished with a career-high 11 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, and 1 block. GC, as they like to call him, had 2 field goals in the second quarter, as Firstrade kept pace with the Villains at intermission. The third quarter, as well as the fourth, the back half overall, both teams traded baskets time and again. Neither team moved out to much of a lead until late in the third quarter, after Sean Zhang buried a three-pointer at the 5:19 mark. C.S. Shah then drained an incredible fadeaway to put Firstrade up 37-30 with 4:40 left in the frame, but that was far too early, as the Villains came roaring back behind Yoon, Jeff, we don't know his last name, and Kenneth Chan down low. Chan finished with another monster 15.10 rebound double-double, but he did miss 6 of 11 from the stripe, which would prove costly at the end. And towards the end of regulation, after Firstrade looked like they were going to take this game, leading 38-37, David Yoon drained a 23-foot triple with 28 seconds left to put his team up top 40-38. But just when it looked like the Villains might take this, back came Firstrade as Sean Zhang got a tough putback to go with 6.7 seconds left to send this game into overtime. And in that bonus session, it was all Firstrade all the time. Andre Hoob opened the frame with a huge three-pointer, and from there, Firstrade never looked back. In fact, Gary Chen iced the game with 5 points in the bonus, as the Villains couldn't get much of anything to go other than a Mike Lung three-pointer. Lung, who finished 1 for 13 on the game, hit that shot too little, too late. In fact, it was a bad day to be named Mike, as Mike Lung and Mike Louie of the Villains went a combined 2 for 24 from the floor. So there you have it, folks. Firstrade evens up their record at 1-1, with the Villains dropping to 0-2 on this young season. Sean Zhang finished with a monster 22.14 rebound double-double, and his post-player partner, C.S. Shah, finished with 14 boards, 3 assists, and 3 blocks. Over on the Villain side, David Yoon led the way with 14 points, 6 boards, 3 assists, and 2 steals, and Chan, with his aforementioned double-double, must get back to the basics, learning how to hit those ever-important free throws.